Welcome to the Getting Real with Hillary show. And once again, I am here with Mark Burns, my ex-husband. He calls himself my former husband. But anyway, that's who we are. We were married for 20 years. We've been divorced 7. I moved into the house that he rebuilt that I still have owned. Here we are. And we've already been arguing about what we're going to talk about today. So I figured, you know what? Let's just start the camera rolling and see where we can get to. This show is about freedom, creating freedom and power to create lives we love. And the AAA formula for freedom, which is awareness, acceptance, and action. And I think I've already stifled him.
No, you've actually just.
But I don't want to. Okay, don't tell him. I don't want to hear one of the stories I've already heard about 25 times because I'll be rolling my eyes and that won't be very empowering. I want to hear something new, someplace where you have been struggling or stuck. And I know you're perfect, so it's hard for you to find one, but let's just say you were a regular human and could be stuck. What's something that we can work out together here? Because I love that. Or he's going to now be passive aggressive and say something nasty. So let's just expect that. I'm not going to get upset like in the last video. So what do you think, Mark?
Well, what I think is if you want to hear something new,
yes,
you bring a new listening to what's being said.
Okay, let's try that.
Yeah, let's try that.
But can it be a new story? I'll bring
it will be a new story.
To new. I don't want to hear this. I mean, your stories are great, but I've heard them.
In the listening of same old, there are no new stories.
All right, here we go, folks. This was a bad idea. Bad idea. Okay, but what you're missing my point is that I want it. Okay, I'm not. We're done. We're done. I want you to talk about something new. I know I could refresh the same old stories in my mind. I'm not interested.
Okay.
I want to hear a new topic where you've been struggling, you've gotten free, or that you want to get free in this conversation. If you can't do that, we're done. No, it's my show. I get to say what I want.
It's a little bit of control here.
It's my show. I'm allowed to control it. Okay, so
by the way,
what is the topic? I'm not in the way.
I don't have a topic.
Okay.
Let's talk about.
Look at the camera. Don't look at me.
Let's talk about exes.
See this?
Let's talk about exes.
Okay, let's talk about exes.
Because you like to introduce me as your ex-husband.
Yes.
And I don't. So that's fine. If that's what you need to do. Okay. That's an interesting thing. I happen to have a view that there are no exes in life.
Okay.
Really, there's no exes.
What's wrong with X? Want me to Google it? Let's see what X.
Nothing's wrong with it, but I don't know that it communicates. What does it communicate?
That we used to be married and now we're not. X.
No, that's a former
definition.
Husband.
Okay.
X.
No, it's not working. What is the actual meaning of X? Okay. One that formerly held a specified position or place. What's wrong with that? A former spouse or former partner in an intimate relationship.
Okay.
X. So
I assert.
So here, what does X mean as in boyfriend?
Yeah.
A former boyfriend. So X and former are used interchangeably.
Okay. If I was your former husband, who am I now? If I was your ex-husband,
You're not. Either way, you're not my husband.
Okay.
What's the problem there? What do you think X means?
Well, I think it connotes, which means it suggests something beyond the fact that you were formerly something. If they introduce
what do you think
formerly president, they don't say ex-president. Or if somebody was a professor, an eminent professor.
Well, do you think X has a negative connotation? Because here it doesn't. It just says
former. I understand
former.
what it says there. Yeah.
Why is it called an X? All right, let's do.
Why is it called
X is a word forming element, which in English simply means former. There's no negativity except it, or mainly out of, from, but also upwards, completely, deprive of, without. Where X meant out of, from, within. So I think look, if you don't want me to call you X, you want me to call you former, I could do that.
No,
but it doesn't mean here, ex-husband. What means ex-husband? A man to whom one was formerly married.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So, I'll change if that's what you want, but what did you want to discuss today?
Yeah, I don't even like former, as a matter of fact. I just kind of like
Husband.
Hillary's my partner. We have
All right,
kids,
let's
we
be
got
partner.
stuff, we own a
That's
house
good.
together, like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. My partner, and I'm not prejudiced against, I mean, gay people are fine and some are married now or whatever, but
Gay
partner, no, partner. I never know what people mean when they say partner. So it could be a business partner. It could be a sex partner.
I'll tell you
it could
what
be a relationship
in
partner.
partnership, they both move with regard to the other because it's not like you move alone.
Right. But I'm left when someone says partner, I'm like, woo, I'm now gone wondering what they mean.
Yeah. Well, it means that you've got to regard.
They could say business partner. So what would we be? What kind of partner would we be?
If I said we are the partners in the ownership of this house, you'd know what that means.
Okay, you're shaking the table.
You'd know what that means, right?
Yes, we own the house together.
Right. If I said, no, we're not partners in the ownership of this house, that would be a big difference.
Well, I think it brings up cooperation. I mean, can you be a partner with someone and not be related, communicating?
No, I don't think so.
On the same page.
I think it's implicit in the relationship.
Like if is my boss my partner?
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
That's a very good question. Are my new agents, I'm in sales with Aflac, are my agents partners?
If you say so.
Well, that's a good point.
Or if you don't say so, that's incisive too.
Well, yeah, it's actually a context that you create. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I feel like they're against me. Mm-hmm. Let's look up the definition of partner. This is good because you know what? If we created, partner, either of a pair of people engaged together in the same activity. Mm-hmm. Either I don't know, get the either member of a married couple or of an established unmarried couple. Oh, okay. So that's what be the partner of young farmers who partnered Isabel to the village dance. I don't get that. Okay. What is the true definition of a partner here? Associate, colleague, or military partners throughout the world. B, a person with whom one shares an intimate relationship. Either of two persons who dance together.
One associated with another, especially in an action like dancing together. And you can't dance together alone.
Right. Interesting. Okay. What is the difference between a partner and a wife?
Is that in there?
Yeah. The key difference between spouse and partner is that a spouse is a married person, husband or wife, while a partner is not legally married, but maintains a domestic partnership or a romantic relationship with another. Interesting. All right. So, but this is good for life. So this is a new conversation. See? That if you call someone a partner versus, sometimes I think people are against me, thwarted. Like let's say I have a new associate, a new agent, and they don't show up. Boom! In my mind, they're out. Like, I can't work with you. Versus if they were my partner, I might be more compassionate.
Well, or conversations.
Yeah, or I might say, hey, what's up? Why didn't you show up? We had a meeting. Yeah, we need to communicate. I mean, I had one who kept getting our appointments wrong. And now he's ghosting me. So I don't know if I can be a partner with that. But here's a conversation that I was having.
But you could start with, look, I'm going to partner with you in this if that's what you want.
Yeah. No, that's good. So, yeah. And also what I saw the other day was that I think things have to be even. So that was how our conversation started on the last show, which you probably want to watch.
Yeah.
That if you felt a certain way, it had to be even. Now, I also saw through that like, in the past, but hold on. If someone said like, oh, you're my best friend, and I didn't think they were, and I didn't feel that way, I was like,
what do I do now?
Now I got to run. It was kind of like that same, okay, don't shake the table. When he shakes the table, the whole camera goes and then we can't use the video. So you will hear me keep repeating, don't shake the table.
Sometimes with an expletive in it.
Yeah. Okay. So back to what I was saying. So when I was young, like if someone said you're my best friend and I didn't feel that way, it was like, I gotta go because I was embarrassed. I didn't speak up. I would just leave. I would be awkward around them. It sometimes ended the friendship, or maybe the friendship hadn't started and they were just kind of glomming onto me. But on the other side, I wouldn't say to somebody else, oh, you're my good friend, or I wouldn't say that because I didn't know how they felt. And I thought it always had to be even.
Right.
So bringing that into this partnership, it would take something for me to stand in partnership without regard for what they said. Like, hey, you're my new agent. We're partners here.
Right.
I will be partners here with you. But see, then I want to say until you stop behaving like a partner. So that's not a stand.
Yeah,
that's conditional.
Sort of
that's
like
conditional.
It's got a threat to it.
Yeah, but you better do what I say.
But go back to the one where the person said, this is an interesting one.
Don't check.
Where the person says, you come up to me, you're my really best friend. Now, let's assume that that's not quite where you were about them. Does it matter? Does it not? Can they not be allowed to have that? And you to say, just either accept it, thank you, or wow, tell me more, and let them express themselves. Wouldn't that be a gift?
It would. And I think the things I've avoided in my life are being embarrassed and being dismissed, while also being judged. Don't like that. Criticized, judged, insulted. I don't like any of that. So tried to avoid that. So I wouldn't put myself out in a relationship without knowing how they felt, which is very limiting. Mm-hmm. So I'd be quick to run. As soon as someone would say something that I interpreted that now they don't like me, which was quite easy to do because I'm overly sensitive, and I'm not paranoid, but I'm overly sensitive. So it'd be easy for me to get insulted, not speak up, not say, well, gosh, I liked you. What did you mean by that? Because then they would know, and then I could be dismissed. See that mechanism?
What if they said they liked you, but you didn't necessarily like them? What would you do then in that situation?
I'd be like, I'd be young. It's a very young conversation. Yeah. There's not much capacity to say, well, thank you. Oh. And I'm not interested. Like when I was out in Denver, some guy said, I don't know if he said he wanted together. I mean, he lived there. I live in Connecticut. So it wasn't too much of a threat, but I wasn't interested. And so I was like, so I asked all these people. We were doing some circle and I asked all these people, what do I do? And the guys were like, just tell them. I was like, you can do that? You can just say how you feel? They're like, yes, guys want you to be straight. I was like, oh, wow. So I went up to him and I said, thank you. And I'm not interested. And he goes, okay, thanks. And that was it. But that was never something that I thought I could say, that I could just be straight. Because I'm a people pleasing, I want to be liked. And if someone did it to me, I always think, well, if I'm not going to like it.
Let's role play that. You two.
No. Hold on. Let me finish my conversation. Let me finish. See, this is why we're not married. That's what I always say. He hates that. Okay. Now I forget where I was. Oh, so one of the things that's in the way of me speaking up is because I wouldn't like it if they said that to me, and I would get rid of them because that's what I do. So I was afraid to say, hey, that conversation didn't work for me or something. So I think everyone is the same as me. I think they're going to feel the same if I speak up. And because I'm a people pleaser, don't touch the table. I'm a people pleaser, pleasant, phony. I would just go, pretend I'm listening and really just have dismiss them. Interesting. Okay. What did you want to do?
I wanted to do the
Okay.
interaction where
Right,
you
look
go
at
up-
the camera. Don't look at me.
I'm talking to you. I wanted to do the interaction, just a brief one, where you go up to this guy that you thought he was in. What was the start of the deal? You thought he was interested in you, or
No, he told me. He
Oh.
said, "Hey, would you? I don't know. Would you give me your number, or could we do something? Or something?" He said something.
Oh, so he was making a specific request.
Yeah.
You didn't just tell him you weren't interested out of the blue. Or something.
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay. So
no. He had asked me a question like it was either could he have my number or something. Could we get together? Some request, and I needed to give him an answer, and I was like, "What do I do?" And so they said, "Just be honest." So I did. It was a big deal, and he was fine.
Yeah.
It was more over here with me
Yeah,
that I couldn't
that's cool.
speak up. Yeah,
Okay. What do we do now?
I think we're good.
Good. What are we going to do next?
I think we're finished.
What? We just started.
Well, I think we've been going on for a long time, but what is there something else you'd like to talk about? Otherwise, we're good.
Well, we were going to do other things and
Well, we were talking about, I think we did great. We talked about partnership, a new definition, a new way to relate to people.
that. Wasn't, none of this was on my agenda, but that's okay.
Well, you started
No,
it. So, all right.
no,
well,
it's
what
fine.
I'm kind of done, but what would you like? I'm like,
You want a cigarette?
no, I think I need some water. Okay. Well, what would you like to talk about? I'm going to time it.
It'll only be 2 minutes.
I think less time. All right. If you have something, say it quick, or I'm stopping the recording.
Well, I
I'll give you
I was
10.
thinking before, it's just, I've been thinking a lot of things, but I had the chance and the privilege to work with a lot of people. And I see that for me, life really is about, we come here and it seems we come here and wanting at some level to deliver something like a gift to life, like a message, like something that we could impart. And all of the times when I've seen people most gnarled up or gnarly or angry or frustrated or stuck is when they have not seemingly been able to deliver that message, not been gotten about that,
Okay.
Now,
And do you feel that way yourself?
at times, I'm sure I have, I don't.
Well, I
have
remember
this
you being
minute.
frustrated that you couldn't make a contribution in some of the endeavors you took on, and you weren't being true to yourself.
Yeah.
And you didn't feel you were contributing,
Yeah,
which
and
is what you like to do.
Right, but I actually don't think that the journey of life is about breaking through that, because that is really not what's keeping. What I found is that's
Okay,
not what's
well-
keeping me from making that contribution. It was really all in my own construct that it was lodged. It
Okay.
wasn't
So
there.
how did you get unstuck?
Well, many different times, many different ways. I mean, one of the earliest times was when I, participated in the work of landmark education, or way back in, it was called something else, but transformational work. I was stuck, but the stuck place was a very unusual one because I was kind of stuck in success. Everything I was doing, everything I had done had worked out very, very well and successfully. And yet it seemed like I was moving farther and farther away from my own true self or my own expression. And I didn't know how to do that because, after all, I was following the lead of everything that I was taught. Get good school, go to good school, get good grades, I was athletically accomplished, on and on, professional, have a job, had all that. And yet it seemed that the more I had, the more I was moving away from something. And I didn't know how to deal with that. Well, after all, I was relatively young. What are you going to do? Not succeed and find your way that way? That didn't make any sense. So it was some work that I did that, kind of opened up a part of my expression, a huge area, which allowed me to step into that and express that. So that was an unlocking.
Okay.
And there have been many since that
So
time.
what would you,
It's almost
so,
never,
so what's an example of you being that free self? You were stuck, you were successful, you weren't fulfilled, you got unlocked. And what did you do? Like, tell the audience.
What do you mean, from that point in time, or?
Yes, I mean, just some quick examples of you not being locked up. Like, what did you do to be free, to express that? How does that look in the real world?
Well, you know,
Quickly.
I always saw myself as being a leader and contributing, and I know I was exemplifying leadership in what I had been doing, but I didn't experience it as a leader. And then when I opened up that part of my life, I actually took on being trained in leadership and delivering and contributing at a high level of accountability. And when I first started that, I always saw myself as being a leader. And when we would go through the exercise and the process of actually being able to deliver that, it was a process where I would fall on my face. I mean, who I thought myself to be and what I was actually delivering was two different levels. I had a picture of myself inside of my own head that wasn't at all that. And when we would go up on front of the room or something, I would think I was being that, and I was being anything but that. And, that had to get knocked out, which it did, and like that. So what I actually did was to put myself in action, which is one of your precepts.
Yes.
That I actually put myself on the line and in action. Very powerful.
And what was an action that you took?
Well, to say committing to lead seminars and programs required me to go through processes and take actions and put myself where I could be seen and contributed to, even though it was difficult. It was confronting.
So what was the difference between that and when you weren't fulfilled? How
when you're not when you're not fulfilled, I can see now you're not in action. You're trying to figure it out.
But you were successful.
Because in those areas where I had been successful, I did take action. I mean, I did go play hockey. I did stick it out.
A lawyer.
I did go to law school. I did do the things.
Okay.
So
what was the difference?
Actually, it's a very good question. What you see is that the minute it's brutal. The minute we think that our thinking is the way to go, we're in the wrong direction. And that's not being anti-intellectual or saying there's no place for.
Well, so let's say
planning. I'm not saying that, but
no. But let's say you now are following something that's fulfilling. You're becoming a seminar leader,
right.
And your thinking says I'm doing pretty well, and they say no.
Right. Well, they'll say we'll see. Let's demonstrate that.
And then you had to grow and
fail,
take on the coaching.
Yeah.
How was that different than? Would you say that the hockey and the law school came easily to you without?
No, there was the same failures there. I mean, really, I tell a story about,
Well, maybe you like the conquest of getting to hockey, getting through law school, getting somewhere. And then once you had gotten through it, it was like there was no more game.
When there's no game, I go to sleep.
Yeah.
I just go to sleep.
You just didn't have a game anymore.
Right. That's right.
And becoming a seminar leader, that was a new game.
Right. Without a game, there's no.
All right. So maybe you don't have a game now.
Maybe.
What's your game?
That's a good point. For a while, it was bringing up a family, putting this house together.
Yeah. So you put the house together.
When I've had to do something, you've seen me go out.
Yeah, you'll do it.
When Jesse had to go to the special, school to play hockey, you saw me make sure he got there.
Right.
And if I had to go out the road for 6 months, I would.
Right. All right. So let's create a game for you. What's your game? You have this message. You want people.
That could be a longer conversation than you want to stay on this screen.
We got 2 minutes.
Okay.
Come on. 2:42. Come on.
Well, go ahead. You're the teacher.
All right. Close your eyes and imagine 5 years from now, you're enlivened, you're doing what you love, you're fulfilled, you've grown, you're happy, filled with joy. I'll just add this because I know you've impacted thousands of people and they're now alive and fulfilled because of you.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do?
Here's what I did. I got myself into a place where I told stories.
Mm.
They were true stories, but they were
Okay.
stories.
Okay.
They have all. I love to tell stories, and I love to meet people, and I've done both.
Okay.
And I tell stories, but my way of telling stories is both entertaining, and it always inevitably makes points and opens up things that people wouldn't have seen it for. It's much like that little thing we did just at the beginning here with partner and all that stuff we got into. That was just like
So
naturally
would
getting
you
in.
say you're an educating storyteller?
Yeah, and why stories is because stories.
Impactful. How about an impactful storyteller?
Because the stories live better for people than structural teaching, intellectual teaching.
Okay, so does impactful storyteller? No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not sure impactful is the right word, but I understand that there's something out there that could be. There's a word to join up with story that isn't usually used, but the two together, when they come together, would be interesting. I don't know that word right now, but I know there is.
Well, let's listen.
We don't have to take precious time here.
No. This is good. We need the word. So, okay. So would it be impactful synonym? Let's try.
No, look at it.
Here we go.
Thesaurus.
Impressive, stunning, moving, sympathetic, rousing, effective. No, more synonyms. Dynamic? No. But you want to
stunning
provoke? Provoke.
Provocative stories.
I mean, I know you want to make an impact, so that's why impactful.
Right.
Stirring, touching. No, they want to charge me for more. Sorry.
Provoking.
You like to provoke, right? You like to provoke. Okay. Yeah. 10 smashing alternatives. Provocative storytelling. Provocative. All right, let's look up. Okay. Sorry, folks, we're working this out, but this is cool, right? This is what you need, because then you'll know. I know what you mean. I just can't think of the word. Okay. So we're going to look for provocative.
It's fun the way you do this right in person. You're really good with this.
Well, because it means something once you get it. Exasperating, annoying. Oh, provoking can be a negative. Is that okay with you?
I provoke you a lot.
Yes, you do. Challenging, disturbing, exciting, inspirational, outrageous, offensive.
No, I can do them, but no.
All right. Well, we're going to go with provocative for right now. Provoke. You like to provoke. You do. You like to provoke people.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay,
here. Maddening. Yes, that's you. Annoying. This is great. Annoying. I need my glasses on. Annoying, irritating, exasperating, infuriating, provoking, maddening, goading. Yes.
Don't talk to
vexing.
You don't have to tell them about your marital years.
Galling, affronting, insulting, offensive, inflaming. I think this is kind of negative.
Like
this is kind of negative. Yes. Rousing, agitational, inflammatory, incendiary, controversial. How about controversial? Informal, aggravating. This is you. This is just you. Does provocative have two meanings? Okay, let's try to save you here.
Oh my God.
The definition is something exciting, stimulating, or erotic. Okay, we're not going there. Erotic. No. What is a provocative?
You don't want me to be erotic?
No. Those days, that ship has sailed. Okay. Read the second piece of French Toast if you want to know why. Okay, that's my first book. All right. So for now, you're a provocative storyteller. Does that free you up?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, that makes you alive. Okay. 5 years from now, folks, we're going to revisit and say, have you lived into this?
Okay.
And since we defined partner, I'll be your partner in causing that.
How about in erotic stories?
No, we're not doing that. Again, second piece of French Toast explains all that. Why we're not.
Well, that's
why we're not that kind of partner anymore.
That's from your perspective.
It is, and I'm good with it. Okay, folks, another time, another story. Thank you so much. This is the Getting Real with Hillary show, where we have the AAA formula for freedom, which we've used today: awareness, acceptance, and action. Mark will be taking actions now as a provocative, impactful storyteller. And if you need anything else, if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, go to gettingrealwithhillary.com, 1L in Hillary, sign up. There's always a good story every week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Oh, and second piece of French toast is available. The second piece of French toast is available on Amazon. It's a great story. He doesn't like it, but I do. Okay. Bye.